For years, the big three have been selling parts counter specials that are purpose-built for drag racing. Cobra Jet Mustangs, Camaros, and Drag Pak Challengers missing vents that you order like an oil filter. These are cars only in the sense that they have 4 wheels. You can't legally drive one to the corner store for milk, or bait teenagers on Woodward Avenue any more than you could in an IndyCar racer. But Dodge is changing that with the Challenger SRT Demon. So how did SRT do it? Details have been released in a form of Chinese water torture over the last 3 months. First, we've learned of all the weight SRT cut to get the Demon as trim as possible, most notably by stripping out every seat, save the driver's. Then there was a mysterious box full of parts and tools, a glimpse at the hood scoop, the wrinkled sidewall drag radials, some suspension details and transmission specs, and on and on. 13 teasers in total, which include more than half a dozen cryptic hints that Chrysler has finally decoded. The campaign nearly caused our interest to wane. All we wanted to know is how fast and how much power. 840 horsepower regained our attention. However, that comes with a caveat. Showroom demons make 808 ponies and premium fuel, an increase of 101 over the Hellcat. To unlock 840 in the Demon, buyers must also purchase the Demon Crate. In the crate are some skinny front wheels, all the snap-on tools needed to change tires at the track, a new engine ECU, a new air filter, a low-temperature thermostat, a cover plate to facilitate removing the passenger side mirror, and a new HVAC switch module with an extra button on it. All the tools and the runners, as the skinny wheels are called, fit in a molded piece of foam that stows nicely in the trunk and is easily removed in the paddock. Demons ship with 4 Nitto NT05R drag radials. The idea is that with all the crate bits installed, one can drive to a drag strip on the barely legal street rubber, and with the runners in place have 2 sets of rear tires at one's disposal. Making that kind of torque is one thing, delivering it to asphalt is another, which is why SRT turned to drag racing tools. The Demon's launch control is unlike anything previously seen in a road car. It uses technology that's commonplace at the Winter Nationals. A Demon driver and the car itself must go through the following processes to unleash a most hellacious quarter-mile run. Engage line locks, which locks the front brakes to warm up the Nittos in the burnout box before approaching staging. Roll to the starting line and activate launch control, at which point a number of things are happening. First, the Demon has essentially air conditioning for its intake air. It super chills the intercooler's coolant by as much as 45 degrees versus ambient conditions to help pack as many oxygen molecules into the intake charge as possible. Next, the transmission engages its own brake. A trans brake locks the transmission in both first and reverse gear simultaneously. This removes any chance the car will move off the line when hitting the throttle to reach launch RPM. Finally, the Demon's 2-stage ignition kicks in. Here, the engine cuts sparks and fuel to halve the cylinders, but keeps all valves operating. This allows the 2.7-liter supercharged to keep its bypass valve closed and generate maximum boost without generating maximum power. Now, the torque converter, an upgraded unit with a high stall speed and 2-to-1 torque multiplication, keeps all the launch torque from eating the transmission innards. Flick either shift paddle and the Demon launches. You'll want to keep the car pointed straight. There's some trial and error to this. Launch RPM and tire pressure, both of which are set by the driver, are the 2 biggest variables in generating the kind of haul shot that will lift the front wheels into the air. That's right, the Demon will wheelie. Achieving a wheelie or any great launch comes down to load transfer. The Demon suspension is set up specifically for quarter-mile passes. The type of setup needed to transfer a lot of load to the rear axle for maximum grip can make a car somewhat scary on public roads. Have you ever seen a drag car get into a speed wobble? To avoid that situation when the starting lights wing green, the adaptive dampers will quickly revert to a tamper setup, with compression and rebound characteristics intended to improve stability as soon as the driver lifts off the throttle. The Uconnect Systems SRT performance pages function in the Demon has a special display dedicated to intake temperature, and the car will tell you exactly how long you need to wait between the runs to generate max power during every pass. The Demon hits showrooms this fall with an estimated base price of $85,000, but we suspect transaction prices will be higher due to demand. Dodge will produce 3,000 Demons for the 2018 model year, plus 300 for customers in Canada. There's no word whether a second model year is in Demon's future, but it certainly will be remembered for many years to come. Thanks for watching, subscribe for more.